is the first off the ball segment, where we're going through some news that we missed. This one happened midway through last week. Right after our Wednesday show, it kind of blew up. So we didn't get to hit on it at the time, but we wanted to go back and touch on it because Darrell Doucette, the QB of the USA flag football team, had some choice words to say about Patrick Mahomes and everyone's assumption that he would be the quarterback for USA's flag football when it comes to the Olympics in 2028, saying that it's Darrell's brain that separates him on the football field.
He's got an elite brain.
From guys like Patrick Mahomes, but basically saying that he should be the quarterback when it's all said and done for this team.
Well, look, I mean, we got to see some footage of our guy Doucette, and hats off to him as football players. And I heard Robert Griffin III talk about this the other day. All we want as football players is the opportunity to represent our country on an international scale, on an Olympic level competition, like the World Baseball Classic does it, which is a lot of fun. We take pride in our game. This is clearly a young man who takes a lot of pride in his game. I'm not sure his age for the next Olympics. Maybe he will get a little bit taller, but he does throw the football obviously well enough to win the flag football World Cup.
Yes.
What are they playing?
They've won a couple here already. So, but he's 35. So I don't know at 39 if this guy's still going to have the game.
We've got some examples of it in the league, though.
But could we have a clip pulled up of this guy throwing? And now,
yes, sir. I am here.
Saw him max out his arm in some of the clips. There were more going around Twitter after all this happened. He had about 50 yards in the tank.
I think really what sets him apart is his ability to evade traffic. And there were some other clips I saw on social media with him dropping it down low to the flow, as it were. And he was making those flags miss hands. You know what I'm saying? He's got some skills, but the pop, lock, and drop it, I'm not sure how many quarterbacks in the NFL could pop, lock, and drop it in traffic. He's got some skills.
I will say, though, impressive as a runner, for sure. He did have that. But when you put NFL players out, there will be a learning curve. But once they get up to speed in what like the rules of the game are and how it's supposed to be, like the advancement, I don't think people understand the advancement.
This is a Friday practice, Mike, okay? So guys in practice are told on Fridays, we want this to be a fast Friday. You fly around, you touch their pads, you don't hit anybody, no helmet to helmet. That's flag football. Now you're going to add in flags on Friday. That's what you're going to be looking at. And if you've ever watched a Friday practice, it's clean. Guys are flying around. It's as impressive as they're going to look physically. I think that's what you would see in flag football.
Yeah, I don't think people understand the difference between what NFL players do in a passing offense perspective and the precision and how accurate these guys are that are playing in the league versus what your even run-of-the-mill to high-end college quarterback looks like, right? Like they are capable of hitting dimes 40-plus yards down the football field to where that's like as far as this guy can throw. That's just a flick for a guy like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Matt Nagy, who had a cup of coffee and played a lot of football, but not at the highest level. I saw him when he became a coach of the Bears. He used to just sit back at the 40 and hit the goalpost with the ball. Him and Trubisky and those guys. So I mean, the arm talent, there is a big disparity. We saw the guy Doucette throw it, but there's a lot of these skills that are unique to flag football that we're seeing with Doucette's game.
Got us thinking though. So it's a 5-on-5 game.
Yep.
Let's build our ultimate flag football roster. Who you got? Who's your O and who's your D from today's game right now? We're not going 4 years in the future. We're going right now.
So the easy thing would be to pick a quarterback first. I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to go just with God-given abilities. And first, we're going speed, and that is the Cheetah down here in South Beach, South Florida, Tyreek Hill. I've seen it in person. Nobody does it like him. I think he could compete in like 4 events in the Olympics, including flag football. He's my first pick.
You gave your whole roster.
Okay, we're going to give our whole roster. Okay, then I'm going to go routes. I'm going to go just savvy, understanding of leverage, depth of drop for some of these DBs. Devontae Adams, he's open all the time. He is as smooth and as headstrong as anybody in the National Football League. Third pick, I want some unpredictability with my running style. I want the guy that's going to run a little bit like a caveman. Give me Isaiah Pacheco. Give him the football. You never know where those crazy legs are going. 4, intimidation factor. You need a guy who's willing to block, he's willing to catch, he's willing to maybe get a little down and nasty with a boom, George Kittle, okay? I need a WWF, WCW style football player out there. And then if I'm going to go quarterback, and it's not going to be Patrick Mahomes because that's a chalky pick, I'm going to go with the guy that's elusive. I'm going to go with the guy with a big arm who goes over the top like our guy Doucette, Kyler Murray.
Okay. Oh, that was my pick at quarterback,
it's
too.
really hard to get his flags.
Because there is a big difference in tackling a quarterback that's 5'9" versus one who's 6'5". When you're tackling a guy who's 6'5", it's like right here, right?
100%.
Like it's like at where your arm wants to go. But when there's a guy who's 5'9", tackling a guy when you're bending down like that,
That's tough sledding.
completely different.
So do I go defense now, or do you go offense?
You
now?
can go. You can go to defense.
I'm going to go my defense now. There's a lot of one-word names on here. Sauce is my first pick on defense. Okay, you want a guy who's going to take away his side of the field, can match up with their strongest receiver, and get the job done. Ahmad Sauce Gardner. And then I want the real general in the middle of the football field, and who better than the guy in Baltimore, Roquan Smith. I had another opportunity to play with this guy in Chicago. Fabulous football player, loves the game. He would have this flag football defense foaming at the mouth in the pregame speeches, okay? Then I'm going to go Fred Warner. You want a guy who's a little bit more calm and collected than Roquan. Similar style, run and hit anything, sideline to sideline. Real brainy guy, okay, Fred Warner. I love him. And also, he's got that vertical. He can cover the layered footballs in the middle of the field, okay? And then I'm going to go Harrison Smith on the back end, okay? The hit man.
Ooh.
And granted, he can't do what he's been monikered to do, hit people. He can't hit men in this game. But what he can do is strike fear, because these guys have all watched real football, okay? Flag football players, they watch real football. They know who 22 is. They're going to keep the footsteps in mind when he's coming downhill. And then another guy. This is a lot of range. These are a lot of rangy players. This is probably my favorite pick on my team. It's L'Jarius Sneed. Ooh. A guy who'll get you a turnover when you need it, get you a big stop when you need it. He's not going to say zilch throughout the course of the game, but my God, he's rangy, and that man can play some football.
I went a different route with myself.
All right.
I'm just prioritizing speed, and I'm prioritizing DBs on defense. So offense, Kyler Murray, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson. Just separate.
That's a good.
I just want guys who can get away from other people. That's all it is. And then on defense, Jalen Johnson, Sauce Gardner. I think those are probably like your two top cover guys in the league right now. Not necessarily need tacklers from those positions, but then also I'll throw in Patrick Surtain into the mix. And then Trent McDuffie is my tackler, and Kyle Hamilton as well. Those two guys, they'll get flags on the ground. So that's my defense.
A lot of length there.
And it just prioritizing. It's a different game.
Grabbing.
It's all about that. It really is. When you can't hit, it's a completely different. You have to have guys that can mirror in space like that.
That's a good point. All right, I like that exercise.
I can't wait. I really hope we do get NFL players, though. Do you think we will come flag football 2028?
Man, like I said before, there's no goal other than winning the Super Bowl that's bigger than competing on a world stage for your country. I mean, carrying the American flag out. Are you kidding me? I can just see now Creed Humphrey. If they were to play real football, he would be the one that would carry it, like the most American dude you can think of. It's awesome, dude.
Hopefully sometime we get real.
These guys in the NFL would find a way to make it happen.
The game grows big enough. I would love if we get real football at some point. But
we're bored in the offseason.
Exactly.